Nobody talks about it, but after 60, the biggest killer isn't illness, it's silence. If you've ever felt this way, you're not alone. Here we talk about the battles that almost no one has the courage to discuss. Subscribe and let's defeat this enemy together. No one prepares you for the silence after 55. Suddenly, life changes its tone. What was once noise, movement, and haste now turns into long pauses, into intervals that seem endless. The clock on the wall ticks away every second, as if it were a cruel reminder that time is passing, but without haste, without novelty, without company. The phone, once a constant companion, now almost never rings. And when it does, it's often someone offering a health plan, or trying to sell something. It's not the voice of a friend. It's not an invitation for a beer. It's not a call to a weekend soccer game. It's just further confirmation that ties have been fraying. You might wake up early, as you always did, but now there's less of a rush to get out the door. The routine that once revolved around work, responsibilities, and commitments suddenly disappears, and with it, that feeling of being needed. Retirement arrives with the promise of rest, but what many men don't talk about is that it also robs them of something essential: purpose. Who are you when you no longer need to work? Who are you when no one depends on you to deliver results, solve problems, or make decisions? It's in this empty space that silence enters. You sit at the cafe table and notice the empty chair next to you. You look out the dark window at night and see the city lit up outside, but you feel like you're no longer part of it. You hold the TV remote, flicking through dozens of channels, but none seem to truly interest you. The world keeps spinning, but without waiting for you. And don't think this is weakness. Don't think feeling this emptiness is a sign of defeat. It's human. It's the weight of a lifetime suddenly becoming too quiet. Many men go through exactly the same struggle, but they don't talk about it. Silence becomes an invisible enemy. And the most insidious thing is that it doesn't arrive all at once. It doesn't knock on the door, announcing its presence. It creeps in little by little. First, it's a weekend without plans. Then, a month without reconnecting with old friends. Soon, you realize you barely speak to anyone other than the clerks at supermarkets or pharmacies. And the body feels it, the mind feels it, because human beings were not made to live in isolation. Yet we are taught to endure in silence, to not ask for help, to fend for ourselves. And so, many suffer in silence, believing they are alone, believing there is no way out. But I want you to remember one thing: you're not alone in this. This emptiness that seems to be yours alone is actually shared by millions of men around the world. Only few have the courage to admit it. Few say it out loud. I feel alone. Maybe you've never said this yourself. Maybe you've never dared to confess that silence hurts more than any hard work you've ever faced. But I say it for you. It's human to feel this way. It's natural. And above all, it's not permanent. The silence after 55 is real. It can hurt, it can corrode, it can even make you believe there's no longer a place for you in the world. But that's only part of the story, because there's another side, and it begins when you decide not to ignore this loneliness, when you choose to face it head on. And the truth is, it can be won. Not all at once, not like a quick war, but like a long journey. Step by step, gesture by gesture, until silence is no longer the enemy, but merely a pause between one encounter and another, between one smile and another, between a memory and a new beginning. Loneliness doesn't arrive like a thief breaking down the door. It enters like dust through a forgotten crack in the window, invisible at first, almost imperceptible. You don't even realize when it started, but suddenly it's everywhere in your life. At first, it's just a mild annoyance. That weekend when no one calls, that birthday that passes with few messages. You even convince yourself that everything is fine, that it's normal. After all, everyone has their own life. But the days repeat themselves, and soon you realize that this silence has become routine. It's like rust on a stored tool. No matter how strong, productive, or important you've been, if you sit still, alone, the rust begins to set in. Your body feels less energy, more sluggish. Your mind feels a constant heaviness, a sense of unexplained fatigue. Even small things like getting up early or making coffee seem to require more effort than before. And over time, loneliness becomes more than just a lack of company. It becomes a nagging presence. It's that feeling that something is always weighing you down, as if there were an invisible weight on your shoulders. In the body, the signs are clear. The heart accelerates more easily. The pressure rises. Sleep is no longer the same. You wake up tired even after hours in bed. Appetite changes. For some, there's a lack of desire to eat. For others, overeating becomes a way to fill the void. In the mind, loneliness is even more cruel. It increases irritability. Small things which you once ignored now seem unbearable. It saps motivation. Simple projects, fixing something around the house, calling someone, going for a walk, seem to lose their meaning. The desire to do something turns into a leave it for later thought. And that later gradually becomes a never. And before you know it, it's no longer just sadness. It's something deeper, more dangerous. Studies show that loneliness can be as harmful as smoking daily. It increases the risk of heart disease, accelerates memory decline, and paves the way for depression. But no one talks about this. No one warns you that a lack of social connections can erode your health as much as a lifetime of bad habits. And yet, society insists on repeating that men have to be strong, that men don't complain. The result? Millions suffer in silence. Millions believe that asking for company is asking for help, that reaching out to someone is showing weakness. But listen carefully, that's a lie. Acknowledging loneliness doesn't diminish you. On the contrary, it's the first step toward regaining your strength. Because the truth is simple, no man is so tough that he can withstand isolation alone. Even the strongest wood cracks when left too long in the sun and rain. Even the strongest iron weakens without maintenance. And human beings, without contact, without purpose, also break down. The good news is that you don't have to wait for someone to come rescue you. You can take the first step. It may be small, almost insignificant to outsiders. It may be a good morning to your neighbor, a quick phone call, a walk at the same time as others. But each step is like a crack in the wall that loneliness has built around you. And the more you move, the more you create small connections, the more the wall loses its strength. It's like lighting a candle in a dark room. At first, the flame seems too small, but soon the entire environment changes. The silence remains, but it's no longer frightening. The night remains dark, but it's no longer absolute. Loneliness is strong. It knows how to creep in slowly. It knows how to hide behind excuses and habits. But it's not invincible, and every time you acknowledge its presence and decide to act against it, you show that there's still something inside you that hasn't surrendered, and that never will. You've already realized loneliness is sneaky, heavy, treacherous. But it's not invincible. And the big change begins when you understand one simple thing. It's not about waiting for someone to come knocking on your door to save you. It's about taking back control, taking small steps that restore purpose, dignity, and life to your day. The first step is to look back, not to dwell on the past, but to reclaim what once made you proud. Maybe you were good at something. Repairing, teaching, cooking, playing an instrument, playing ball, caring for plants. These skills aren't lost. They're dormant. And do you know what happens when you practice them again? You reconnect with yourself. You remember that you still have great value, that you can still generate, create, offer. The second step is to seek out contact. It doesn't have to be anything grand. It's not about becoming an extrovert overnight. It's about small connections. Say hello to your neighbor. Exchange a few words at the grocery store. Go to a square, even if just to watch the world go by. Join a group, a collective hobby, an online chat. It may seem small, but each interaction is a spark that breaks the isolation. Remember, loneliness feeds on inertia. Every movement, no matter how small, is a form of combat. The third step is to use your body as a bridge. The body isn't just muscles and bones, it's the vehicle that connects you to the world. And when you move, it opens paths to encounters, conversations, and vitality. Walk. Do light exercise. Go to the park, join walking groups, dance groups, or age-appropriate gymnastics groups. The intensity doesn't matter. What matters is movement, because a moving body creates space for the mind to breathe. The fourth step is to rebuild ties. It can be difficult to call a friend after years of no contact, but you'd be surprised how many are in the same situation, waiting for someone to make the first move. A simple phone call can rekindle friendships that seemed lost. A text message can open doors that were closed. And here's the truth no one tells you. This isn't asking for help. This isn't a sign of weakness. This is regaining your strength. It's raising your head and showing the silence that it hasn't won. You still have so much inside you. Stories, experiences, memories, advice. The world needs it. Someone needs it. Whether it's a grandchild listening to your stories, a neighbor in need of company, a distant friend also lonely, you still have the power to impact lives, starting with your own. Loneliness is strong, but you are stronger. And the struggle isn't to pretend it doesn't exist, but to face it head-on, to acknowledge its presence and step by step, rebuild your path back to life. The empty chair can be filled again. The clock that now marks only silence can once again mark meetings. The dark window can reveal new mornings, more full of meaning. The decision is in your hands, and the first step is simple. Don't ignore it. Don't hide it. Don't pretend. Look at loneliness and say, "You will not dominate me." And with every small gesture, with every reconnection, you prove to yourself that there's still so much to live, so much to build, so much to share. Loneliness is like a shadow, silent, discreet, yet ever present when the light of life begins to dim. After 55, many men discover that it's not the physical pain that weighs most heavily, but rather the emptiness of hours that seem to have no purpose. The empty chair at the table, the phone that never rings, the dark window at the end of the day. All these little details scream inside more than any noise from the outside world. But let me tell you something important. You are not condemned to live like this. Loneliness is real, but it is not a sentence. It is a challenge. And challenges are meant to be overcome. You have overcome so many in life. The weight of responsibilities, the difficulties of work, the pressures of family, the pains of your body. You can overcome these too. Only this time, victory doesn't come from brute force. It comes from small steps, from the simple act of opening up, of seeking connection, of reclaiming something that still pulses within you. It comes from the courage to not hide. And believe me, when you share your struggle, you not only free yourself, but you also empower other men who are silent. Because the truth is hard, but liberating. Millions are living the same battle as you, only in silence. So I invite you, share your experience in the comments. It could be a sentence, a memory, or a rant. Someone will read it. Someone will feel less alone because of it. And if this topic resonated with you, subscribe to the channel. Here we don't pretend everything's okay. Here, we face head-on the struggles every man experiences, but almost no one has the courage to talk about. You are not alone. You never have been. And together, we can transform silence into voice, loneliness into strength, and emptiness into purpose.